The engagement ring burned a hole in Caleb's pocket, heavier than any piece of equipment he carried on his belt. He was 3 miles underground, the air thick with the smell of burning rubber and fear. The beltline was on fire. Smoke, black and oily, was rolling toward them like a tidal wave. As Caleb fumbled for his self-rescuer, his hand shaking for the first time in his life, he didn't see the flames. He saw Elena's face, saw the way she looked at him last night when she said, "If you go back down that hole, Caleb, I won't be here when you come up." He realized with terrifying clarity that he might have already lost her before the smoke even reached him. Harlan County, Kentucky, has a heartbeat. You can hear it if you stand still enough on the side of Route 421. It's the rumble of coal trucks shifting gears on the incline, the distant hum of the ventilation fans, and the choir practice echoing from the Baptist church on Wednesday nights. Caleb Thorne knew that rhythm better than his own pulse. At 29, Caleb was built like the mountains that raised him broad-shouldered, quiet, and immovable. He worked the graveyard shift at the Clover Fork mine. He liked the night shift. It meant when he came out of the hole at 7 a.m., the sun was just rising, painting the mist in the hollows a brilliant gold. It felt like being reborn every single morning. It was on one of those mornings, exhausted and coated in a layer of rock dust that made him look like a ghost, that he met Elena. He had cut his hand on a jagged piece of cribbing, a deep gash across the palm that wouldn't stop bleeding. The shift foreman sent him to the urgent care clinic in town. Elena was the nurse on duty. She wasn't from Harlan originally. Ow. She had moved down from Lexington, looking for something real. Out. She had eyes the color of polished slate and hands that were steady as stone. "You're going to need stitches, Mr. Thorne," she said, cleaning the wound with stinging efficiency. She didn't flinch at the grime on his skin. "Just superglue it, ma'am." "I got a shift tonight," Caleb joked, though he winced. Elena stopped. She looked him dead in the eye. "If you go into a coal mine with an open wound, you're asking for infection. You take 3 days off, or I'll call your mother." "I know who she is." Caleb laughed. It was a rusty sound. He hadn't laughed like that in a long time. There was a spark there, bright and sudden in the sterile white room. He asked her to dinner right then and there, while she was threading the needle through his skin. She said yes. But as she tied the knot of the suture, Caleb noticed something. She looked at his hands, rough, scarred, permanently stained black around the cuticles, with a mixture of attraction and fear. He didn't understand the fear yet. He would learn. Their courtship happened in the margins of the daylight. Caleb lived his life in reverse. He woke up when Elena was coming home from work. They stole hours together in the late afternoons. They went to the drive-in theater in Norton, sitting on the tailgate of his truck, watching movies they didn't care about. They hiked the ridges of Pine Mountain, where Caleb would point out the seams of coal visible in the rock face, talking about them with the reverence of a historian. "It's not just rocks, Elle," he told her one evening, as the sun dipped below the tree line. "It's power. It's steel.
Ow.
Everything that built this country came out of these hills. My granddaddy dug it. My daddy dug it." Elena looked away, staring at the distant smokestack of the power plant. "And it killed them both, Caleb." The silence that followed was heavy. Caleb's grandfather died in a collapse in 78. His father died of black lung at 60, gasping for air in a hospital bed that Caleb had paid for. "It's a job," Caleb said defensively. "It pays the mortgage. It puts food on the table." "It's a gamble," Elena countered, her voice soft but sharp. "Every time you walk out that door, I hold my breath until you text me that you're topside. Do you know what that does to a person? To love someone who plays Russian roulette for a paycheck?" Despite the friction, the love grew. It was a fierce, protective love. Caleb started washing sweeter. He scrubbed his skin until it was raw before seeing her, trying to erase the mind from his body. He stopped talking about the close calls, the roof bolts that snapped, the methane alarms that tripped. He tried to sanitize his life for her, but you can't wash off the coal dust that's in your soul. One night, 6 months in, they were at the county fair. The lights of the Ferris wheel were spinning against the dark sky. Caleb was winning her a stuffed bear at the ring toss when the siren went off. The mine rescue siren, a long wailing drone that cut through the music and the laughter. The entire fairground froze. It's a reflex in coal country. Every head turned toward the mountain. Caleb dropped the plastic ring. His face went pale.
Yes.
Clover fork. That's my mine. He ran toward his truck without saying goodbye. Elena watched him go, standing alone amidst the cotton candy and the flashing lights. She saw the look on his face. It wasn't fear for himself. It was a soldier answering a call. And she realized then that she was sharing him with a mistress she couldn't fight. The mountain. It was a Tuesday in November when the breaking point came. Caleb had bought a ring. It's a modest diamond, but clean and bright. He planned to propose at Christmas. He had hidden it in his sock drawer. Elena found it while putting away his laundry. When Caleb came home that morning, gray-faced and stumbling with fatigue, she was sitting at the kitchen table. The ring box was in front of her. Caleb stopped in the doorway, his boots leaving faint black prints on the linoleum. "Elle, you okay?" "I can't do it, Caleb," she said. She wasn't crying. She looked exhausted. "Can't do what?" "I can't say yes. Not to this life." She pushed the box toward him. "I saw a man die in the ER last night. Crushed pelvis. Mining accident. His wife was in the waiting room. I watched her break, Caleb. I watched her life end when the doctor told her." Caleb stepped forward, reaching for her hand, but she pulled back. "I love you," she said, her voice shaking now. "I love you more than I thought I could love anybody. But I won't be that wife in the waiting room. I won't raise children who are terrified every time it storms or the phone rings." "This is who I am," Caleb said, his voice rising. "I don't know anything else. I'm a miner. It's what I do. It's what you do. It's not who you are." Elena stood up, slamming her hand on the table. "We could move, go to Lexington. We could learn a trade, HVAC, construction, anything, and leave my mama." "Leave the guys?" Caleb felt cornered. The brotherhood of the mine is a bond that outsiders never understand. You trust those men with your life. Leaving them felt like desertion. "It's the mine or me, Caleb," Elena whispered. The ultimatum hung in the air, sucking the oxygen out of the room. "I'm leaving for my sisters in Lexington tomorrow. If you want to come, the car leaves at noon. If you go to your shift tonight, don't bother coming to find me." She walked out the back door. Caleb stood alone in the kitchen, the ring box sitting on the table like a judgment. Caleb went to work. He didn't do it to spite her. He did it because he didn't know how to not go. It was automatic. He put on the stripes, he put on the belt, he got in the cage. But his mind was miles away. The shift was brutal. The air was heavy. The crew, usually full of banter, sensed Caleb's mood and gave him space. They were working the number 2 section miles deep. At 3 a.m., the accident happened. It wasn't a collapse. It was friction. Conveyor belt rollers seized up, a bearing froze, sparking against the rubber belt, moving at high speed. Within seconds, the belt caught fire. Smoke in a mine is different from smoke in a house. It's toxic, thick, and blinding. It moves with the ventilation, carrying carbon monoxide, the silent killer. Fire. Fire on the belt. The call crackled over the radio. Masks. Now. The foreman screamed. Caleb snapped out of his daze. The smell hit him, instantly burning rubber. He grabbed his self-contained self-rescuer SCSR from his belt. He popped the latch, pulled out the mouthpiece, and clamped his nose. The visibility dropped to 0. The tunnel became a throat of black smoke. "Grab the lifeline," Caleb yelled, though his voice was muffled by the mouthpiece. He grabbed the shoulder of the man in front of him, a rookie named Jory. They had to walk out. The Mantrip vehicles were useless in this visibility. They'd crash. They had to walk a mile to the fresh air intake, navigating by feeling the lifeline cord on the wall. Caleb's heart hammered against his ribs. Is this it? He thought. Is this how it ends? dying in the dark while she drives away? The heat was rising. The fire was spreading. Caleb could hear the crackle of the timbers catching fire. Suddenly, Jory stumbled. The rookie panicked. He ripped the mouthpiece out of his mouth to scream. No, Caleb tackled him. What? In that smoke, one breath of carbon monoxide could knock you out. Caleb forced the mouthpiece back into the kid's mouth, holding it there, staring into his terrified eyes. I'm not dying here, Caleb thought. A fierce, burning anger rose in him. I am not dying in this hole. I have somewhere to be. He hauled Jory up. The heat was blistering now. Caleb's skin felt like it was cooking. He thought of Elena. He thought of the clinic. He thought of the white walls and the safety she offered. He realized she wasn't trying to change him. She was trying to save him. They stumbled forward, step by agonizing step. The lifeline was the only thing connecting them to the world. Then the air cleared. They burst through the ventilation doors into the intake shaft. Cool, sweet air hit their faces. They collapsed on the floor, ripping the masks off, gasping. They were alive. It was 11:30 a.m. when the rescue team finally cleared them to leave the site. Caleb didn't shower. He didn't go to the bathhouse. He didn't debrief with the company men. He got in his truck, covered in soot, smelling of smoke and sweat. He looked like a demon rising from the earth. He drove. He drove fast, the tires squealing on the winding roads. He pulled up to the small rental house Elena shared with a friend. Her car was packed. The trunk was open. She was walking out the door with a suitcase. She froze when she saw him. Caleb jumped out of the truck. He looked terrifying. Blackened face, red eyes, clothes torn. Caleb, she dropped the suitcase. Oh my God, I heard on the radio. The fire. ... She ran to him. She didn't care about the soot. She grabbed his face, her thumbs tracing the lines of dust. You're alive. You're alive. Caleb held her tight, his dirty arms wrapping around her clean coat. He buried his face in her neck, inhaling the smell of her shampoo, which smelled like vanilla and life. I'm done, he rasped. His voice was ruined from the smoke. Lena pulled back, looking at him. What? I'm done, Elle, Caleb said, and the words felt heavy, but right. I walked through hell this morning, and the only thing I saw in the fire was you. I'm not going back. Can't put you through this. I can't put me through this. He reached into his pocket. The ring box was singed. The velvet melted on one corner from the heat of the mine. It's a little cooked, he said, a weak smile cracking the coal dust on his face. But the diamond is carbon. It can take the heat. He dropped to one knee on the gravel driveway. Elena Russo. Let's go to Lexington. Let's go anywhere. Just ... marry me. Elena was crying now, tears cutting tracks through the soot he had transferred to her face. Yes, she whispered. Yes, you stubborn, dirty man. Yes. Years later. The scene shifts. A sunny backyard in Lexington. The grass is green, manicured. There is no cold dust here. Caleb sits on the porch. He's older now, works as a site foreman for a construction company. His hands are still rough, but they are clean. Doesn't have the cough. He watches a little boy, about 7 years old, digging in the garden with the plastic shovel. What you're digging for, bud? Caleb asks, sipping his iced tea. Gold. The boy shouts. Gold, huh? Caleb smiles. Elena walks out onto the porch. She looks happy, relaxed. She puts a hand on Caleb's shoulder. You miss it? She asks softly. She asks him this once a year, usually around the anniversary of the fire. Caleb looks at his son. He looks at his wife. He looks at the blue, open sky that stretches forever, unblocked by mountain walls. He thinks about the dark, the smell of sulfur, the brotherhood. A part of him will always be down there, in the number 2 section. 8. But the best part of him is right here. I miss the men, Caleb says honestly. But I don't miss the dark. He takes Elena's hand and kisses the knuckles. I'm right where I'm supposed to be.